The big conversation today is what is going on with silver. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBit Solutions. But before we even jump into talking about silver, it looks like overall markets are actually retracing. Now, this actually puts the end to the conversation of, are we going to have a Santa Claus rally? Because it's not the overall markets and it's definitely not crypto. Kind of like, I feel like overall markets did well leading up to Christmas, right? It's not that we made new all-time highs, but if you really think about it, with all of the uncertainty that is presenting itself in the market, right? People might say that, oh, inflation isn't high, but we all know that it's very expensive at the grocery store and just for the cost of living. We all acknowledge that, right? We all know that we have a very weak labor market. We all understand that. On top of that, markets are trading at nearly all-time highs. So yeah, you might be a little bothered that you might have not gotten the rally that you wanted, but looking at the overall big picture, like your personal bias aside, stock market as a whole is actually performing very well for 2025, taking all of that into consideration. Now, again, it's not rocket science. Looking at previous resistance levels where we've gotten rejected before, you can't be surprised that we are getting rejected within that same range. So yes, NASDAQ market is beginning to show signs of some pullback. Based on previous lows, we have some decent downside potential. And that was our main focus within our live trading session today, is confirming that, hey, are markets going to continue to uptick and try to make new highs, or are they actually going to respect the previous resistance range and begin to retrace? Because we all know that when overall markets begin to sell off, then especially the speculative assets begin to aggressively sell off. And that was the ideal opportunity for us to short the market. And that's what we did in today's live trading session. So as we saw overall markets begin to retrace, I stayed very patient. I didn't trade very aggressively, but I took a short on QBTS. I missed the pump. I missed the original sell-off. I wanted to wait and see. And again, if you're part of my LPP team, go watch today's live trading session. Even if you end up signing for LPP today, which is the second link in the description down below, you can go back and watch today's session. You can see that I waited for direction to be more clear. I've made a few mistakes the past few days of hoping for something to happen that never actually does. We make this mistake all the time. We know it, right? So instead of waiting, instead of forcing something to happen, I waited for the market to establish its highs for the day and its lows for the day. So now I understood to some degree, right, that I understand the overbought levels. I understand the oversold levels, the basic support and resistance. So then when I went back up to retest and then NASDAQ began to show signs of lower highs and lower lows, I opened up short. I made some money on the original retracement. And then originally, when I went to test the same previous support range on QBTS at $25, I actually went long on QBTS and then took profits at this resistance and then ended up going short. So I'm not up a ton of money, $2,000 on the day, $2,100. I'm very grateful for it again, but based off my position size, it's not a super attractive return. I was trading with about $100,000 on this trade. So again, I like to share that so you can kind of put it into comparison where you're not comparing your profits with mine when I'm trading with a lot more. So this was about a 2% gain, all said and done. I'm looking, as you can see, based off of my trade plan. I just shared this with my LPP team. Again, when you watch me trade live, you get to get an insight and a real live look. It would be like watching this live and seeing me open up a short and then taking profits at that $25, right? But I explained my thought process during all of it. I explained my thought process on why I'm waiting for it to sell off. Ricky, you should be taking a trade. Well, again, I wanted to be a little bit more patient. I talk about my position size management, but I shared my trade plan with them. My goal is to take profits closer to $25 to see if it respects this previous support range. But with that being said, that is my focus for the day. We'll see if it actually ends up presenting itself. I believe that as overall markets, again, begin to sell off, this is my opinion, and that's all it is. If you think markets are going to be bullish, I respect your opinion. And I feel like, again, you're entitled to take any long position that you want. Just looking at previous patterns, I like to warn beginners of understand overbought and oversold levels. There's no question that QQQ is closer to an overbought range than it is at an oversold range. So therefore, it's more at a resistance than it is at a support. So because of that, I see there to be pullback potential. So as NASDAQ begins to sell off, then again, like we explained, then speculative stocks are more likely to sell off as well. That's at least what has happened in the past before. That being said, the big focus for the day has been silver. Silver at one point, I think, hit highs of nearly $85 per ounce. I think a lot of platforms are saying, or news outlets are saying like $82. Nonetheless, it's just odd timing because now people are responding to the video that I made, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, and like, Ricky, you called it out. Like you were right about silver. No, right? I like to talk about assets that are overbought and oversold based off of the general range. I had no idea. You think if I wasn't shorting silver, you think if I knew exactly that silver was going to crash, like I would have not shorted it? No, I even in the video said that, hey, looking at the bigger picture, you're right. When silver was trading at $70 per ounce, it was not a good deal. And that's all I wanted to emphasize, is that it could even run up to $100 per ounce. And I made that very clear in that video. You always have to be aware of both sides. It would be so naive for me to be, even with Bitcoin, you guys know that I don't like Bitcoin. How dumb would it be for me to be like, no, that thing has to crash right now? No, it doesn't, right? If markets continue to be irrational and markets continue to push up to new all-time highs, we all know that during irrational times, they support irrational valuations. The same thing with silver is that most people that have an understanding of how the market works, they know that yes, silver is not a good deal at $80 per ounce, but it doesn't mean that it has to peak there. It was all momentum based at that point. It's no longer about its utility. It's no longer about, well, it's an industrial based good. I get that. But at some point, once you see this parabolic move of going from, lows of sub $40 per ounce to doubling in just, 3 to 4 months, there's a red flag there. There's no surge in demand that would yield that kind of return and sustain itself at those elevated levels. So it's all about momentum and it's all about hype. But like we experienced today, I asked Warren AI and I was like, hey, what's one of the main reasons that silver is dropping today? And it talked about how it experienced today about a 7 to 10% pullback, and it's profit-taking wave and technical breakdown, right? So the price sliced through multiple short-term support levels on heavy volume and signaling momentum is firmly with sellers. And again, it's simply about the idea that, hey, this thing has pumped up enough that people are like acknowledging, hey, this might be overbought enough where we might want to begin to take profits. And I think it makes perfect sense when you think about it that way. Does this mean that silver has to crash or that it can't push up higher? No, silver is still incredibly bullish, right? This is a pullback. I have no intention of shorting this. And if it finds a support and the momentum continues, again, I wouldn't be surprised that it can continue to push up higher, right? Again, I have no intention of shorting. I was even looking at these silver-based ETFs, and yeah, they're down 8% today. So the inverse silver-based ETFs, I'm sure, are up a decent dollar amount. But please don't get it confused. A pullback is not a complete change of direction. Again, it's still bullish on the larger time frame, and as long as it holds at these elevated levels, it still has the likelihood to continue to rally. So again, an incredibly risky short before confirmation. That's what I wanted to make very clear. I would hate to have made a video talking about, yeah, it's overbought. Overbought does not mean that it has to sell off, right? Bitcoin has been overbought. GameStop has been overbought. Opendoor has been overbought. And guess what? They do correct themselves, but that doesn't mean that they have to crash right now. Us taking positions or opening up positions doesn't change the fact that markets as a whole are still pretty irrational. So please make sure that you don't allow your personal bias to overwhelm and consume your thought process when it comes down to these trades that you are choosing to take. On top of that, again, I wanted to just share some news when it came down to silver. People highlighting of, oh, okay, see you guys in 15 years. Obviously, people, sharing jokes. On top of that, BTC experienced another pump and dump, pump and dump, pump and dump, pump. And you can tell that a lot of crypto bros are feeling the pressure. Bitcoin has not made new all-time highs. It's really beginning to consolidate. And as NASDAQ begins to join them as it curls on over, again, speculative assets will always sell off the hardest when overall markets begin to retrace. So how long will it take for people to admit that digital credit, MSTR is being referred to, was a dumb idea and abject failure? MSTR, so all the different MSTR ETFs or approaches it is that they had, right? Strategy has been buying Bitcoin for 5 years with an average cost of about $75,000. The company has a paper profit of just 16%. That's an average annual return of 3%. MSTR would have been better off if they had Saylor actually buy any other asset instead of Bitcoin, which again, I think is very important to highlight that during a bull market, it's only up 16%. And if we do begin to enter a bear market, again, not saying that we will, just saying that if we do, we always know that it's those speculative assets, especially Bitcoin, that are notorious for crashing. This is not an opinion. Look back at the data. 2022, 2018, it's always speculative assets that crash the hardest. And it's normally a 70 to 80% retracement from previous all-time highs that Bitcoin crashes. And this time, maybe it could be more, because remember, there's more leverage now than there's ever been before. So therefore, the domino of, again, people getting liquidated can be pretty significant, especially if large institutions or large holders begin to get liquidated. So it's going to be very interesting to pay attention to the market the next few months, and I'm just so excited to learn more. And that's all I wanted to share with you guys. So again, if you want to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, I would love to kick off 2026 with all of you, especially if you're trying to not only watch me trade live, but actually understand the trades that you are choosing to take, the risk that you are exposing yourself to, and understanding the importance behind structured and calculated trading. If you want to continue doing what it is that you're doing on your own, I respect that. You can learn how to do everything yourself online. But if you're someone that needs a little bit more structure, that you learn best by watching other people do, then that's exactly what LPP is designed for. The second link in the description down below will give you a huge discount. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. So you can sign up right now and start watching me trade live as soon as tomorrow. I appreciate you guys' time. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.